Love Art and Florence Skies. Clara Monroe had never been accused of being subtle. Her brushstrokes were declarations, her colors unapologetically loud. So when she stepped into the sun-drenched Florentine studio, bare walls, ancient light, and a distinct echo of history, she felt an immediate zing in her soul. Florence. Finally. Her chest lifted as she set her canvas against the wall. She was going to soak in the Renaissance like espresso, bitter, rich, and beautifully intense. Then he walked in. "Ciao," said the man with a voice like smoke and gravel, dragging a bag of sculpting tools behind him. He looked like he'd stepped out of a Caravaggio painting, disheveled curls, paint-smudged jeans, and cheekbones sharp enough to slice marble. "You're in the wrong studio," Clara said, adjusting her smock. "I don't think so." He walked to the far side and dropped his bag with a thud. "Luca de Rossi, sculptor. This is our studio." Clara blinked. No. I applied for a solo residency." "And I applied for silence, but I hear you talk a lot." He smirked and started unpacking. And just like that, war began, with the smell of turpentine and testosterone in the air. Luca's sculptures were cold, hard, emotionless in Clara's eyes. He carved with such precision it made her furious. "This one looks like it's never laughed in its life," she muttered one day, gesturing to a marble bust. He didn't look up from his sanding. "Unlike your painting, which looks like it's about to cry." "It's called feeling. It's called overkill." Every day, sparks. Every night she scribbled in her journal by the Arno River, trying to untangle how someone so infuriating could also make her wonder what his hands might feel like, not on stone, but on skin. It was a mistake, a gelato accident. Clara had stormed out of the studio after he mocked her latest painting, a girl underwater, tangled in red ribbon. Melodrama in oils, he had called it. She fled to the nearest gelateria and ordered stracciatella to cool the burn. And of course, there he was, ordering pistachio. "You stalking me now?" she muttered. "Please. I have better things to do than follow you around Florence." He gestured toward an empty bench. "But if you want to fight with dessert, I'm game." They sat. They didn't talk at first, just gelato and silence and the low hum of scooters weaving through cobblestone alleys. Finally, he asked, "Why do you always paint women drowning?" She blinked. "What?" "You paint them trapped, bound, drenched in color but gasping." Clara stared at her spoon. "Because I know what it feels like." For once, Luca said nothing clever, just nodded slowly. Something shifted. They didn't mean to go together. It just happened. One morning, Clara announced she was heading to the Uffizi for inspiration. Luca raised an eyebrow. "You know there's more to Florence than crying Madonnas, right?" "Coming or not?" she snapped. He came. And promptly got them kicked out of a tour group for loudly debating whether Botticelli was overrated. "You're insufferable," she hissed as they hid near the statue of Perseus. He grinned. "You're glowing when you're mad. It's oddly endearing." She turned away, but her stomach did a weird somersault. Stupid Italian charm. Luca started leaving espresso for her in the mornings, leaving a note under the paper cup beside her easel. It just said, "Enjoy." Clara started adjusting her easel so he wouldn't trip over it, again, when rushing to his corner. They still argued, but now it was softer, teasing, familiar. One night it rained, the kind of heavy Florence rain that washed the world raw. She was trapped under an awning across the street from the studio, and he found her there, soaked, shivering. Without a word, he shrugged off his jacket and wrapped it around her. "I can get my own jacket," she murmured. "Yeah, but then I'd have no excuse to see you wearing mine," he replied, brushing a wet curl from her cheek. Time paused. It was the first time he kissed her. It tasted like rain and espresso and weeks of unsaid things. It was bound to happen. He found her sketchbook, the one with the drawings of him. She saw his expression change, like the air had shattered. "You draw me like a ghost," she crossed her arms. "You look like one sometimes, haunting everyone, never saying what you really feel." He walked out. She didn't chase him. For 2 days, the studio felt like a church after a funeral. Then, on the third morning, there was a sculpture on her stool. Unfinished. Rough. It was her. Eyes closed, head tilted back like she was breathing for the first time. At the base, a note. "You don't drown, Clara. You fly." She found him by the river, sketching in a worn notebook she didn't know he owned. "Luca." He looked up, eyes soft, tired. "I hated you at first," she whispered. He nodded. "I was unbearable. But I also love the way you look at art. Like it's alive. Like it's fighting you and kissing you at the same time." A smile curved his lips. "Kind of like you." She sat beside him, their fingers brushed. Florence buzzed around them, tourists, lovers, history whispering from ancient stones. Clara leaned into him. "So, should we keep sharing the studio?" He kissed the top of her head. "I was thinking of something more permanent." Their first exhibition together was titled Collision. Her paintings, raw and radiant. His sculptures, no longer cold, full of curve and life and feeling. The art world whispered about them. 2 storms, 1 sky. But in a quiet corner of Florence, where espresso steamed and artists bickered like birds in spring, Clara and Luca just smiled. Because love, like art, was never meant to be neat. It was meant to be messy, wild, and impossibly beautiful. Just like them.